You
go,
can hang around
John.
and eavesdrop if you want, or if you need to leave, that's okay, John.
Don't go, John.
I'm not.
Good. Stay where you are. You'll see me on telly in a minute.
There.
Oh, are you all right, John? Sorry. Hello, everybody. Are you all right?
Hello, Tom.
I must apologise first and foremost because I've knocked my tooth out at the front.
Oh, no.
I knocked my own tooth out in bed. I thought it was my
Oh.
ex next to me.
Yeah.
But I knocked it out. He
Oh,
whipped
that's
it out,
awful.
but there's nobody
Can-
all on the.
Can we now have the true story, Tom? Do you think I believe that for 1 second?
It's a cover story.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got to say this publicly, right? You've just been talking. I've listened to every word John said.
Right.
I'm going to say it publicly. He's the nicest person I have ever met in my life, John. He's lovely, honestly.
Thank you,
We
Tom.
had Clive Webb last week, and he was lovely as well.
What people say,
Everybody's lovely.
Yeah.
ignore them. John is lovely.
Now, Peter, are you doing the Tom Bright interview, or shall I jump
You
in?
continue, Andrew. You're doing a good job. I'm just.
Well, you're
Pete.
fight for it.
Are you
Fight
sure?
for it.
Okay. Tom, it's a pleasure to have you here this morning. There have been lots of Tiswas themes, but your one is the most iconic one. It's the one that people remember.
Saturday is Tiswas Day. Saturday,
But it was a strange story, actually, because John was telling me when I gave the tape to John, which was recorded just on a little cassette and a guitar, that was it. It wasn't like you can record now. And he took it down to Chris, and Chris didn't like it at first. And so John went away, and he had to go back to Chris's office a little later on. And when he walked in, Chris is singing, Saturday is this.
It's a slow burner.
What are you singing, Chris? And he just went, get Tom Bright and we'll record it. And that's how it happened. But that was my lovely John who did that for us.
Oh, bless him.
But
Yeah.
wasn't your first title All Mouth and Trousers?
It was, it was Mouth and Trousers originally, yeah. And then
How
Tom
did
and
that
Susie
fit with the
Blue.
tune?
It was only for tax reasons. And
I
they brought
bet you
us-
weren't.
We were, yeah, seriously, yeah.
So it was good to finally see you. And then the final series, Glyn Edwards was the producer again.
Yeah.
And I think you did a Christmas song.
That's right.
We wish you a merry Tiswas Christmas. Yeah.
That's right.
We wish you a merry Tiswas Christmas, with a tizzle on the happiness all the way. This year's gonna be different because we're gonna have a great big Tiswas. What will you get in your Christmas sack? I'll be happy with a great big Tiswas Day. I'm sure that you'll see Santa Claus this Christmas, working hard, loaded up his sleigh. It's nice when he brings to you all the things you want him to, but I'll be happy with a great big Tiswas Day. We wish you a very, very Tiswas Christmas, with a sis and a was and a happiness all the way. This year's gonna be different because we're gonna have a great big Tiswas. What will you get in your Christmas?
I remember coming out, we'd done the rehearsals, the camera rehearsal in the afternoon. And I remember coming out and they had two big speakers for us for the track, but we were actually singing it live.
Yeah.
And I came out and they forgot that there were going to be 30 kids or as we used to call them, children.
Children.
And they'd all smothered the speakers. So I couldn't hear anything. All I could hear was this real muffled sound. So I come out like I'd actually had a nervous breakdown, live television.
But I didn't notice. I don't remember. I
Yeah.
think you were a professional. You just carried on.
Yeah, well, trust
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. And then the next time we saw your face on the screen was OTT. It wasn't Brighton Breeze, it was just you. And I think you did I'm the Only Flasher in the Books. Or
Yeah, we
I think
did a
that's-
couple of things for OTT, actually.
Yeah.
Did the Flasher, and I won't sing you that in case there's any
And you
kids
had a
listening.
Dirty Mac or something. And
Well, a Mac, yeah. And we also did a thing about Andy Pandy.
that's right. And
Yeah.
that was with Susie Breeze, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'd
but we
forgotten
had a-
about that.
But we had a problem with that because the lady who owns the rights to Andy Pandy, she wouldn't let us use it because it had been changed. There was a few rude bits in it, so she said no. So we had to change it. It was Teddy something, 2 Teddys. Yeah,
Yeah, but we
did
all knew what you were referring to. Tell us about your background in cabaret or working men's clubs near the Blackpool area, or
Well, my proper job has been comedian, really, for
yeah,
55 years. I've been directing stuff, writing pantomimes, directing, but I've sort of been jumping in and out of things, which I've enjoyed, because instead of just being a stand-up comic, which I don't particularly like to do all the year round, but I had a nice surprise when I was asked to join Russ Abbott at the BBC.
great.
So I went there for 6 years on the Madhouse, yeah, as an actor,
Yeah,
which was a nice break from it all. And then, of course, doing pantomime, that's another break.
yeah.
So my job hasn't always been as a comic. Also, John reminded me of something earlier on, actually, because, are you still there, John?
Yes.
He's still there, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought
I'm
you
writing it all down.
It's all his fault, I tell you. But the funny thing was, after I left Russ Abbott, a friend of mine opened a radio station, and he said, "Would you be interested in doing your own program?" And I said, "Well, I've never done radio before." And the funny thing is, he said to me, "What I want is Tiswas on the radio."
Wow.
Within 7 months, I won a Golden Sony Radio Award. Yeah,
Brilliant.
yeah.
Oh my god. So that's 2 people with radio awards.
Yeah,
we've had
well, we've
today.
got. John didn't mention it, but you go down to the Grosvenor, and it's a big thing. But to be absolutely honest with you, I didn't know what it was. I've never heard of it because I've never been involved with radio.
Yeah.
So somebody said, "You're up for this radio award." And I said, "What is it?" He said, "It's a Sony." I says, "Oh, right."
Wow.
I thought I was going to a working men's club to pick a little cup up. Of course,
Tom, how was it Tiswas on the radio? Was it comedy sketches, quizzes?
yeah, games, sketches. Mrs. Clacker, the Files' favourite landlady, because it was in Blackpool at Radio Wave.
Fantastic.
It suited Blackpool perfectly because it was rough and ready. It was a bit like Tiswas. At the end of the day, John hit it on the head, you see, because it doesn't look rehearsed, and the radio program people used to say, "Do you just turn up?" And I'd say, "Yeah," but I was writing it all week. It was
That's the genius, is that you rehearse so that you look
well, I'm
so
a
you're
great
doing it in the
believer.
moment.
I'm a great believer in preparation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Somebody once said to me when I was a kid, when I first left school, I've been professional like all my life, but I was working in a garage for 9 months, and we had to go in the spray shop, and this guy was spraying this red car, and he said something all those years ago. I never forgot it. And he stopped spraying for a second. I was 16. He went, "Listen to me, lad. You see that there? Anybody can put that red on. It's a preparation underneath. That's what does it. Always remember that, lad." And
Yeah.
I've always thought about it when I've been writing pantomimes and rehearsing.
That's right. What goes on before,
Yeah.
all the hard work you put into it.
It's a preparation.
Yeah.
It should be ready before people see it, you know.
Yeah. Now, earlier we were talking to John about OTT and Alexi Sale, and then Alexi Sale could only do a certain amount of editions. So for one OTT, they replaced Alexi Sale with Bernard Manning, which is a bit dangerous for a live program. Do you have any experiences with Bernard Manning on the Blackpool scene?
Oh, yeah. Well, I used to do Bernard's Club.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was always doing at Bernard's.
The Embassy.
The Embassy, John. Yeah,
The
you're
famous
right.
Embassy, and I think Frank Carson was there as well.
Oh, well, everybody was there. The Beatles. He always said Bernard. He always said, "Have the Beatles on here," you know. "Have the Beatles on here." Paid them what was it, 5 shillings, isn't it? If they come back, they'll get the same money. Bernard was
Yeah.
brilliant. in
Yeah.
his
Oh,
book.
that's good to hear. I'm addicted to the Wheel Tappers and Shunters DVDs.
Yeah, great variety.
Yeah.
But you get Tiswas and OTT, in my opinion, they were breaking barriers down very
Yeah.
gently. I mean, like John was explaining earlier, it was dangerous. So you look at it now, it was nothing.
Yeah.
But to be brave enough to do that in those days was quite something else.
Well, it paved the way.
I remember saying to Chris, and I said, "Why are you stopping doing Tiswas?" And he said, "It's just all too much, Tom, now, and I need to move on. I need a quieter life." So I don't know whether this was the real reason, but this is what he told me.
Yeah.
He said, "Then I'll be quite happy doing a little program for when people." Within 2 weeks, he was out doing Parkinson. Is that right, John?
Oh yeah, the ratings were phenomenal.
The ratings outdid Parkinson within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I think the first week a girl came out with the boobs out and everybody said, "This is disgraceful," a vicar. And then he watched it the second week to see if it was still as bad.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She didn't actually, what she did, it was the secretary's was enough to trigger off.
Yeah.
And what it was a snooker. And the claim was that they could play snooker and nothing would stop them playing. So we had this actress run on and show, and they just carried on playing. That was the joke.
Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
It was fun. It was great fun to watch OTT.
Yeah. I was going to ask you, Tom, and I was going to ask John this, but I forgot. But I'll ask you, Tom. Tiswas was, in theory, a children's program.
Yeah.
And yet the acts that were booked seem to be from the working men's club scene.
Yeah. It's the thing is, you see, I mean, we all learn as we go along, and I suppose I learned a lot from the Tiswas ideas, writing pantomimes, because I don't like writing for children. I think John hit it on the head once again before.
Yeah.
Don't insult kids. They're grown up, really. Children are little grown up people at the end of the day. They're very, very clever. And when I write my pantomimes, I do the same thing. I write it for adults with children in mind. Because you see, the thing is, when they see their parents laughing, they'll laugh along anyway. And then
so you've reached both.
Yeah, you can do some naughty stuff, and the kids don't understand it, but the adults love it. And it was the same with Tiswas.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think I don't know whether I'm right or not. John will tell you, but probably there was more adults watch Tiswas than children.
Yes, that's
probably.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got the impression that Chris and the others were really enjoying themselves.
Yeah. The same as me on the radio. It was all rehearsed, but
on Radio Wave. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still real enjoyable because of the success. The great thing about radio is, I found, was you think everybody's laughing, which I found brilliant because I'm not used to people laughing.
That's brilliant.
I'll just tell you,
Tom, what have you been up to since then? Or were you about to say a story?
I was just going to tell you about going back to Tiswas when.
Yeah, go for it.
When I think it was on 10:30, wasn't it? And around about 10 o'clock, I used to clear the studio and get the props ready, and Chris would go and do his thing. John would go somewhere and get something, do this, that. And the children and the adults had been let into the studio to have a little look around at the famous Tiswas studio, and then they'd be put into the green room. And I never forget this particular day. I was just wandering around aimlessly, to be honest, and I just wandered into the studio, and there's a guy there with long blonde hair. And I just said to him, "Oh, I'm really sorry." I said, "But we're going live on air very shortly. If you'd like to make your way through to the green room, I'd really appreciate it. Everybody's got to clear the studio now." And really, no problem. He just said, "Yeah, fine, that's fine." And he goes off, and I turned around, just walking out the studio, and Chris Tarrant walks in. And he said, "Have you seen Rick?"
Rick Parfitt.
And I said, who? He said, Rick Parfitt, Status Quo. Well, I just stared at Chris for a moment because I thought, I'm going to get out of this. And I ran at full belt down to the green room. Oh, and poor Rick, he stood there. He'd absolutely been mobbed. I mean, can you imagine Rick Parfitt walking in the green room? So that was my famous being a doorman.
Oh, it could have happened to anyone. Oh, here we go. Status Quo. John's got a Status Quo t-shirt.
Has he?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
lovely,
the tour jacket which Rick Parfitt gave to me.
Aren't they lovely, though? Lovely lads, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Wow.
Rick was brilliant.
Oh, I love
And-
that jacket.
And
John.
rest in peace, Francis Rossi.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
The headbanging. We loved the headbang. We went to a concert. We all sat in the front row headbanging.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Brilliant.
I
John,
think Chris liked his heavy music, didn't he?
can I just ask John something? Do you
Yeah.
remember, John? Do you remember you, Chris, and myself going for an Indian, and everybody had this thing at the time of throwing water on your heads and this, that, and the other, and we were sat there quite. We were only chatting quietly, the three of us, and this guy stood up next to us. His wife was with him, and he poured a pint of beer on Chris's head.
Yep.
Do you remember it? And
I do.
Chris,
There was
well,
another evening at a restaurant in Birmingham. I think it was called Franco's, Italian restaurant. And we were sitting at one table, and the next table was two couples. And we were chatting away, really getting ready for the program, just talking what we're going to do. And one of the ladies picked up a glass of water and came over and threw it at me. And their table all laughed. And I suppose we laughed, there. So I picked up a glass of water and threw it at her. And her husband wanted to fight me.
yeah.
And I said, hang on a minute. She just threw a glass of water over me. He said, but that's your job.
Ah,
Ah,
said-
but you weren't working.
I said, that's true. I said, but also throwing it back is also my job. He went, oh, fair enough.
but if you remember, John, the time I was with you, and he came over, he poured a pint of beer over Chris's head, and Chris stood up real calm, and we'd had a bottle of champagne or something, wine or something, in an ice bucket, and it was full of ice. And he walked over and he pulled her frock out at the top and poured it down the front. And
Yeah.
the same thing happened, that they wanted to fight us.
Yeah, yeah.
And we finished up throwing money on the table, if you remember. And I remember it clearly. And we didn't run out, but we made our way out before.
Yes.
Kicked
Oh,
off.
That happened a lot. That happened a lot.
Yeah, Yeah.
We were fair game. Huh?
I suppose.
well, you
so,
shouldn't
yeah.
have been.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Great days. I used to stay over at John's, didn't I, John?
You did. You did.
Where are you living now?
I'm living on the Wirral.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm in Lytham.
Living near
Still,
Blackpool. Yeah.
still.
Yes.
But it was in Stowmarket, a club in Stowmarket in Suffolk, where I first saw you and Susie.
That's right. Yeah. And you kindly came over and said you write some stuff.
Yeah, you're in trouble now, I said.
Yeah, changed my life for the worse.
Tom, did it change your life?
Of course it did. I
Yeah.
think it just changed everybody's life. I mean, I was only a songwriter,
Yeah.
but I used to love going down to the studio. I'd go down, not every week, but so I'd go down and, became friends, and it was lovely, lovely times. It was a very, very special show. I mean, what are we talking about? 40 years, and we sat here
That's right.
talking
That's
about.
right.
Yeah.
But what you're saying about the friendly show, but what impressed me more than anything is that we were all good friends.
Yeah,
The whole
absolutely.
That came
show was good.
across.
And usually, often you get one person in a group
Yeah.
that's negative in some way or
Yeah.
backbiting. But in this setup, everybody got on really well with each other. That
That's right.
commonality.
Yeah. And
I
it
think
went
in the final series, they were all really, really good individually, but there didn't seem to be the same chemistry.
Are you asking me?
Oh, I'm
Um,
just saying it, just see if anyone responds.
Well,
Because
it's
you were in both, weren't you? You were in the final series.
me.
Yeah, Tom. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I can't remember, to be honest. I think we
Oh,
did.
fair enough.
No, I think we did the Tis Was Christmas thing, but I wasn't really involved then. I mean, I wasn't really involved in Tiswas before as such. I was,
Mm.
I wrote the song, but you
Which
don't.
was on every week, the song.
Yeah, the opening.
No, I would have loved to have written it as well with John, and I'd have loved that opportunity, but he never asked me, John. He wanted it all to himself.
Yeah. Well, you were gigging a lot though, weren't you?
Yeah, I was gigging all the time. Yeah,
Mm.
it was 7 days a week in those days. And I
Wow.
tried to get down on a Saturday, and like John said, it was a little family, and it was a great family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy family.
Yeah.
Tom, I
yeah,
saw your show reel a few years ago, and I think it was really good. You were doing the Eddie Large celebrities starting their cars routine.
Oh, that, yeah. The Eddie Large. No, that was recorded before Eddie Large did it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I wrote that. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Now there's a scoop. So Eddie Large nicked it from you.
Yeah.
Well, you heard
somebody
it here
did.
first, everyone.
Somebody did. Yeah. They all
Oh,
tried
what a
to nick the Handy Pandy routine as well.
Good routine.
MOTT. Yeah.
They used to try that. Yeah, they used to try and steal that one as well. But was it John Bell, the producer, John?
Yes.
Is it David Bell? And he kindly said to stop Jim Davison do it on North Pier at Blackpool, which I thought that was great. That.
Well, there was reputed to be a lot of that of people going around each other's shows
Yeah.
and writing down gags and that sort
Yeah.
of stuff. But you don't know whether that's true or just folk
Yeah.
I
tale.
think Jasper Carrot admitted to it. He used to go and see Billy Connolly and write stuff down.
I know
Yeah.
a new comedian who does it. I've been told by someone in the old school comedian industry, but I'm not at liberty to mention that guy's name. So
Okay.
leave a brown stain on his reputation. But I don't want to get sued.
He's in charge of the buttons. He can speak whenever he likes.
He can say whatever. He's the boss.
Yeah.
He's Glyn Edwards.
No. PlusNet is the boss, and it's been going down for us. But we're recording this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever see Glyn Edwards doing his puppeteer show?
Oh, he's a Punch and Judy man, isn't he? In
That's
Brighton.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I emailed him once because I was doing organising an activity week at church, and we needed a Punch and Judy man, so he recommended someone who was really good.
Yeah,
and I
you were.
think he calls himself Professor someone.
Yes. Can't think of the name at the moment.
Yeah.
But I saw him doing it. Saw him performing.
Yeah, I bet he's good. So, Tom, how's the lockdown affecting you?
It's all right.
You're okay. You look very happy.
Apparently, he had a fight in bed during the lockdown.
Oh,
Broke
the
his tooth,
tooth.
apparently.
The
yeah.
tooth.
The lockdown had caused it.
No,
Pressures
Never-
are rising.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
he-
believe it because I was very lucky actually because I rang. The dentist is just round the corner from where I live. And
Yeah.
I rang him up and I thought, oh, this is going to be a bit awkward to try and get this taken out. But it was really, really wobbly. Anyway, he said straight away, he says, if it's emergency, pop round, I'll whip it out. So it goes round and he pulls it out. He says, oh, by the way, I should have told you, the bloke who makes them can't do it. He's on strike at the moment.
So you're stuck with it.
Because of coronavirus. I said, well, you should have told me before you took it out.
Tom, we really appreciate you talking to us this morning, and it's been an
It's been a
absolute pleasure.
I've
So
enjoyed it. And I've
thank you
enjoyed
so
talking
much,
to the most loveliest man in the world. That's my
John Gorman. Yeah.
John. Oh. Can I just
Thank
tell
you,
you one
thank you,
very
Tom.
quick
Thank
thing
you.
before I go? Oh,
Yeah.
John, tombright.com. You can get me email off there. Drop us a line, mate.
Okay, will do.
Thank you. Thanks.
No
John.
probs.
And everyone else, go and look at tombright.com.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Then you can buy me books from there as well. So.
Wonderful.
Can I just tell you one very quick one then, just before I go? So a friend of
for
mine
it.
is in Euston Station, and Chris Tarrant's walking across the station. He goes over and says, Chris, he says, can I have your autograph? And he said, yeah, of course you can. Oh, yes. He doing his autograph, and he said, oh, by the way, Chris, he says, I'm going on my holidays next week, and I'm going to see a friend of yours in a show up there, Tom Bright. And Chris says, oh, mate, is he still alive? Yes, I am.
Well, I
Only
think you are. You are.
just.
And we're very happy.
A quick story about meeting somebody on the station. Somebody stopped me and said, "Could I have your autograph, Jasper?" So I said, Jasper said, "Yeah, aren't you Jasper Carrot?" So I said, "Yeah. But I'm not doing your autograph. You can get stuff and tell your mother I said so." And then I met Jasper. I said, "Oh, I'm glad I met you because I was on New Street Station. Somebody came over and asked me your autograph." And I saying, for Jasper, I was Jasper Carrot. I told him to get stuff and tell your mother the same. He said, "You didn't, did you?" I said, "Yes."
Funny.
Oh, that's brilliant. So you like getting people in trouble, John?
Oh yeah.
Peter, do you want to? John and Tom, I think we lost our live stream about halfway through.
Oh,
but
yeah.
we've recorded all of that. So it might be that we play the recording next week if that's okay with you both. Peter, do you want to fill us in?
Yes. Half an hour ago, I just came on. I muted myself on here and said to the camera, "Right, we're calling this a day," because it kept dropping out. The frame rate was like an old zoetrope or like a flick book.
Yeah.
People couldn't hear things and it was going off, up and on. But all the internet is being thrown into this. This is working okay. It's could be better, but this is usable. So we've got this. I've got this double recorded to this computer.
Oh,
So
good.
this this works out. We can play this out next Saturday and pretend it was all live.
I'm pretending I'm live now.
Not like the good old days, John, when they used to just
Exactly.
point a brownie at us.
Yeah.
Well, Chris thought Tom was dead, and John's not sure if he's live. So
John Gorman, we've got Jasper Carrot of us on the screen.
oh, we've got Jasper Carrot. Yeah, actually, you do look like him.
Is that it? Have you done?
We're done.
Nearly done.
We so appreciate it. You aren't being paid for this. You did it in your own time, and John is even going to donate a rare memorabilia item. And
Yep.
we'll put our heads together and think what we can do with that.
Okie dokie.
Yeah,
Ah, that's
And-
lovely.
yeah. Thank you both of you. I hope your tooth gets better at some point, Tom.
It'll grow back. at
It'll
my
grow
age.
back.
Yeah.
Baby tooth. Yeah.
See
Thank
you,
you.
everybody. See you, John. Love you to bits,
Take
mate.
care, Tom.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
John,
Ta-ra.
see you,
Ta-ra.
Tom.
Ta-ra.
Thanks for persevering with us. We've been rubbish today.
As usual, bloody
Oh, I've had a great
computers.
morning.
Right, to the pub.
To the pub. Go for it.
Yeah.
Your fridge.
Am I done now then, everybody?
You're done, and John, you were brilliant. Thank you. I had a million more questions to ask you, but we would still
Next
have been
time.
talking to midnight.
Do it till next time. Okay.
Yeah.
Take care. Ta-ra
Thank
for
you.
now. Ta-ra.
Bye.